All right, we should be live right now. I'm a couple minutes late. My apologies. Had a last minute thing I wanted to try to get done before I came on. See here if I can get the chat going. How's everybody doing tonight? Just let me know in the chat. Can you hear me? I'm hoping so. Caleb says, first time seeing the Massalorian stream. Caleb, welcome, man. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate you catching the live stream tonight. Let me put my chat up here. All right. Take this down. All right. Badonk says he can hear me. So audio must be okay. Which is good. Thank God. Let's say hey to some people real quick who are first to the live tonight. We mentioned Caleb Underhill was in the house. MD says sounds good. MD, what's going on, my friend? How you doing tonight? Mike, what's going on, brother? How are you? Candace says hello, Mass. Good evening, everyone. Hope all is well. Same back to you, Candace. This impromptu live, but there's a lot going on. I was gonna try to make a video today about this new FCC rule and the internet, man. This is scary stuff. The timing of it's extremely weird. But we'll get into it in a minute. I don't think people understand what's really going on here. Nobody seems to be talking about it. Oh, man. I took an extra strength Tylenol for the 2, so hopefully that's going to kick in soon. Anything goes. How you doing tonight? Badonky, what's going on? MD, we said. Hammer, how you doing tonight? Good to see you, my friend. Bucks fan is in the house. What's up, my brother? How are you tonight? Good to see you. Kryptonian says, did you see Spain? Yeah. Argentina and Spain are flipping the narrative on its head. It's crazy to me this guy Javier became the president. And by a lot. A substantial victory for a libertarian. We'll see what his policies look like and how they help Argentina. Same thing going on in Spain, right? Massive protests against socialism. About time. I'm just going to put up real quick. It's funny that they're calling Javier Milei a far-right libertarian. Does that even make sense? Hammer says, hey, Mass. Good to see you tonight. All right, we are good. Looks like everything is going smooth. Let me just pull up. We're going to start going through some of the news that's appropriate. By the way, has anyone in the chat seen the Marvels yet? Do you think they're getting the message? I don't know. Being an AMC shareholder, I can't go on here and be making videos about how shitty the Marvels is doing and feel good about it. I just can't. As much as I want to dunk on Disney and the stupid things that they're doing right now, financially, it's not in my best interest. Floyd is in the house. Floyd, what's going on, my man? How you doing tonight? Badonky says Tucker knew. Yeah. Yeah, Tucker was the first guy really to expose Javier to the masses, right? He had him on just a few months ago on Twitter X. And, man, he's got some wild ideas. I did see someone mentioned his policies about open borders, but you have to take in consideration when we're talking about that. He thinks international open borders are good. If you deconstruct the welfare state, then you're not going to have a flood of people coming to your country or wanting to come into your country, right? So remember, when he's talking about having those open borders and that policy, that's based on the deconstruction of the welfare state, all these socialist programs that has driven Argentina into the ground over the last 40 years. I mean, they used to call Buenos Aires the Paris of the West, right? Or the Latino Paris. And socialism came in about 40 years ago, and it has been downhill ever since. And I guess the Argentinian people have had enough of that. It's happening a lot in South America and Central America too, a little bit, right? I did see Spain too, Cryptorian. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy what's going on. But it's exciting, and it does give me a little bit of hope, even though I just find everything going on right now so evil. There's just so much stuff I can't even get into. But it doesn't even matter anymore at this point, because last night's video that I dropped, I went and did a review on the fall of Minneapolis, the George Floyd story. And, you know, doing what I do, doing the YouTube, I'm constantly going through other news sources, right? So a lot of the things I had known, as far as like the autopsy and the talks, but I didn't know about the FBI's involvement in it. That was the first time light was shed on that for me. I had no idea that the FBI had met with the medical examiner within 12 hours. But yeah, there was no violence in that video, yet YouTube decided to hit me with violence. I had 2 still frames in the whole 13-minute video. Nothing new. This is all stuff that's been seen hundreds of hours on mainstream media, and they decided to hit me anyways. So, and whenever they do that, so just so you know, if you watched last night's video, why the comments are off, if they deem that the video is not age applicable, if they think if you're under 18, there's too much violence in it for you, they automatically shut the comments off. So that's why there was no comments on last night's video. They do suck, Badonki. I uploaded that last night's video was the first time I uploaded to Rumble. So if you go to Rumble and type in Massalorian or Just a Concerned Citizen, you'll be able to find it there unhindered. They do suck. They do suck. Jesse, what's going on, man? Let's see. Where would Jesse? Jesse's in New Zealand. Jesse, what time is it? 3:40 right now in the afternoon? Good afternoon, my friend. And you can't share it either, Bucks fan? Yeah, it's ridiculous. And this isn't, I didn't, nothing in that video was anything that nobody has seen before or extra violent. I mean, literally, it has 160 views. It's been up for 20 hours. If I put up an AMC video or anything about pop culture, I can get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 views. Not if it has to do with anything that YouTube is not cool with. They will not push out the video to anyone. And that's something I'm dealing with on a daily basis. And it really takes, not that it takes the joy out of it, but who wants to work for hours upon hours, cutting and editing all that, and all the takes you got to do, especially now with the tooth thing and not being able to enunciate my words. I have to go back and record the audio many times over. I'm running into the same problem in my documentary because my voice has changed since this thing happened. So it is a little disheartening though. When, I started that video on Friday, I wanted to make sure I had the details right because it's a very sensitive subject, and I get that, right? I get that the optics on it looked bad, but that was the way the media wanted you to see it, right? It's the way he wanted you to see it. Yeah, Bucks fan says you couldn't share it. 240? 243. Okay. All right, Jesse, I got you. Wellington. That's right. Enjoyed the video you released yesterday. Good format. Thanks, man. Unfortunately, you were only, and Jesse, it's probably only because you are at the live streams all the time and you probably have the bell on that you even got a notification for it. Again, 160 views in 24 hours. But I think it's relevant, and I want to make sure that people understand how they're trying to divide this country. And it's excuse me, to me it's sickening. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Bucks fan says you couldn't share. Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. Can't share it. They won't run ads on it. So I mean, it's 6 to 7 hours worth of time totally out the window. And I I I I purposely try to make it enjoyable, the videos, as well as stating the facts the best I can present them to you. Because I want you to stay through the whole thing. Usually I'll have something coming up at the end of the video about what the next live stream will be about or what the next video will be about. And yeah, it's disheartening, man. It makes you want to just say, forget it. Why even bother talking about a subject like this if YouTube's just going to strike it down? I mean, literally within a couple minutes of it being up, they ripped the ads and then made it so you couldn't comment and couldn't share. But I think it's important, no matter what, letting people out there know what the mainstream media is doing and why they're doing it is important. And kind of runs into what we're talking about tonight with this FCC new ruling. And I just found out that the White House put a last minute recommendation into this new rule that the FCC is going to have that basically says that the government, though, doesn't have to be held to these same standards. Let me see if I put a bookmark for it. No, but I know who the guy is who put it up. Hold on. I just looked him up earlier. Carr is his last name. I think Brian Carr. I believe. Let me see. Hang on, guys. Let me make sure I get this right. And I'll show you what they did. All right, Twitter. Here it is. Brendan Carr, FCC. Okay. So this is what the government has said. Now, in case you guys don't know, FCC is the Federal Communications Commission. They basically have control over the airwaves. And now that goes for the internet as well as TV, radio, and the such. All right, let me share this up here. Brendan Carr. Make sure you guys can see this. Yeah, this is his post. I'm just going to make this bigger so you guys can read it for yourselves. So, in case you don't know, here's what we're talking about. This is the new ruling. This is from ABC News just a few days ago. The title is FCC FCC adopts rules to eliminate digital discrimination for communities with poor internet access, which sounds good on surface, right? Sounds like, yeah, man, we want everyone to be able to have access to the internet, no matter what neighborhood you're in or anything like that, right? The rules package, which the commission ratified on Wednesday, would empower the agency to review and investigate instances of discrimination by broadband providers to different communities based on income, race, ethnicity, and other protected classes. The order provides a framework for the FCC to crack down on a range of digital inequities, including disparities in the investment of services for different neighborhoods, as well as the digital divide, a term experts use to describe the complete lack of internet access many communities experience due to regional or socioeconomic inequality. Now, this was started back under Obama's administration at the very tail end before Trump came in, and it was under another name, but they've kind of rewrapped it now and called it, where did I put it? Digital equity. Meanwhile, Free Press Action, a digital advocacy group, applauded the new rules and called on the FCC to go further by reclassifying some aspects of broadband to bring about quick action and bring back the important oversight powers the agency needs to do its job. And then they go on to talk about Carr here, who I just showed you the post on X, and said it's a Faustian bargain, meaning they're making a deal with the devil. That's what we're dealing with. Shout outs here, see who was in here. Candace says it was a very good video. Thank you, Candace. DB Cooper, what's going on, my man? Says obvious and sickening. Barry Electronics, how you doing tonight, Barry? Says I feel that the division of people started with Obama. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, it did. It did, no doubt about it. And you know, in this documentary that I'm actually almost done with, finishing up right now, I'm the tail end of it. I'm going to kind of get into that with the fourth turning. 2008, Obama first coming into the White House, that changed a lot. A lot. We went on a very different path after Obama. 8 years of Obama, and maybe now we'll say 12 when this is all said and done, right? But Barry, I agree with you 100%. I'm going to mention that coming up. This policy itself was something that the Obama administration had first proposed towards the very end before Trump came into office. DB Cooper says that's what they want, Mass. Yeah, unfortunately. And, there's not much we can do about it, but just keep on coming out here and talking about the issues that we're having. If the administration is allowed to get away with this FCC rule, that means a whole new internet. That means that now their goals of the government are going to be able to get into certain, not IPs, but, the search engines everywhere. I mean, they're going to have their mitts on. And, I think that is the long-term goal here, or short-term goal, however you want to look at it. Could be possibly to help them win this election. I just saw the latest polls come out. 18 to 34-year-olds have Trump winning right now with their vote by like 4%. Don't think they're not aware of this and need to start controlling the narrative. I mean, that for a long time, but especially the January 6th tape's coming out, and we'll talk about that maybe if we have time a little later. I think it's opening some eyes to people for what it really was and what it wasn't. It wasn't an insurrection. It was Some people who got rowdy possibly were riled up by undercover agents or paid informants or CIs, and got caught up in the moment and did some things that were, and there was definitely some things I don't agree with. But then again, I look at it and say, well, what else do you do when you're trying to fight against tyranny? How else do you handle that? Again, it's crazy to me that people on the other side, on the left, the Democratic Party, thinks it's so insane that the people who went to DC that day didn't turn on their own neighborhoods and communities and their stores and their neighbors. They turned on the people who are supposed to be protecting them and are supposed to be making sure that we have free and fair elections. And the fact that the left finds that so violent and finds that so abhorrent to me just tells me everything I need to know on why we are on the right side of history right now. At least I feel that way. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like there is evil and good in the world, and I say this a lot on this channel. I truly believe it. We are in some crazy times right now, and I want to make sure that we land on the right side of history. And I think we are. I think everyone in this chat probably right now, at least we align up on many things as far as the direction we want to see this country go. And we might have come into this from different angles, right? I got started with this really because of what was happening in the stock market, and that kind of just expanded, right? My journalistic intuition from what I went to school for and what I was trying to do before I went to YouTube just kind of pushed everything out there, and now it's just it's so much more to me than the market right now. I mean, yeah, we got a lot of problems in the market. There's a lot of shadiness going on, and we've taken it on the chin as retail for 2.5 years, but there's a much wider, broader fight going on. When you really get down to it, I think it's more than just bad hedge funds and Citadel and Ken Griffin. There's bigger enemies that we're dealing with right now with a lot more power. And you're going to see that play out over the next 12 months. Make no mistake about it. They're going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at the right to try to keep Trump out of office. And, if anything I needed to know more, if Trump is going to come in as the anti-war candidate, and I have some things I like about Bobby Kennedy, and that's kind of about it. There's not really else. I think Bobby Kennedy has some good ideas. I like some of the things he says. We came from a very similar background as far as grew up and the politics we were exposed to when we were younger. And but right now, I see a lot of death and destruction that seems unnecessary, that I think could be stopped if we just had cooler heads prevailing and some diplomacy and some talk. Jesse says, don't be disheartened. Only takes the one right person to see it and take it off. Stay consistent. I'm trying, man. I'm doing my best. It's just the more you uncover and the more you peel back from the onion, the more you see how corrupt this whole system is. Again, I haven't seen not one Biden hat, bumper sticker, or street sign in 3.5 years. I haven't seen it. I'm just wondering where those 81 million people go. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Mike says we can't read that shit. The FCC thing, Mike? All right. I'll make sure I make it bigger next time. But it's that is what they're doing, man. They are making a fee and bargain. They are again. I think this is a Trojan horse situation. They are saying it's one thing when in reality it's something completely different. They are not. They don't care that poor people don't have internet service right now. That is not a concern of theirs. And almost anyone can find an internet signal for free if you're just willing to do a little bit of traveling. You can get to a free internet service, right? Now, I'm not going to say that that's convenient or that it's easy, but if you truly want to be able to get online, everyone pretty much has somewhere they can go to get a free internet signal as we speak. This is a complete Trojan horse. They are using this as the moral high ground, a moral high road to try to sneak in government control over the internet. At least in my opinion. Badonk says Elon going after media matters. Yeah. Yep. Titan says, what's up with it, brother? What's going on, my man? How are you doing tonight? Good to see you in the chat. Kevin W says, hey, Mass, cheers from Canada. I'm not getting notifications of your channel lately. Just came up on this. Hope all is well and missed the content. Good to see you, my friend. Kevin, thank you. Appreciate you coming by. Saying what's up from Canada. And you can, Kevin, I guess I can tell you guys that's where I am right now. I'm lying low in the Canadian lowlands. Titan, good to see you, man. And Kevin as well. But Donk, if you guys remember to hit the like button when you come in, I don't think it will really do anything, but it doesn't hurt, that's for sure. King Buzz 33 says, how's that yes vote working out? Yeah, not good. Not good right now, but honestly, King Buzz, what are we supposed to do about the market? Right? What are we supposed to do? What are we going to do? Go in, arrest Gary Gensler? Put a gun to his head? Oh, I don't know how the yes vote's going to ultimately work out. What I do know is, well, let's just pull it up. Now that you mentioned it. We can talk a little movies right now. So the yes vote is not working out so well. But what's even worse is this shit. And why I still feel like I don't know if I would have changed anything, although it killed my portfolio. In the long term, we're going to need to make sure we have availability to get to money. Can't say the right word coming out. Right? We have cash on hand. Like it or not, the Marvels has now bombed in Eversable. This is from today. Marvels has the lowest MCU domestic opening ever. We know that. Lowest global opening ever. We know that. Marvels had the largest week 2 drop off of any superhero movie ever at minus 78%. Third score on MCU movie in the series on Rotten Tomatoes. Marvel's expected to end its theatrical run with 210 to 240 million at the global box office. You know what the first one did? King Buzz? 1.3 billion. So I can sit here and look back and say, man, I should have changed my vote. Not that I don't think it would have mattered. But I see the numbers coming back from the box office for Q4, and they're not looking so hot. And there is nothing coming down the pipeline right now that is going to boost this other than probably Beyonce's concert. So honestly, at this point, I would have stuck with my vote because I think this is going to quarter. 83% audience score puts it at the mid-ish range of MCU movies, not the bottom. It is the highest grossing theatrical release of all time by a black woman director. Again, that's great. I mean, that is wonderful. It's good to see, right? But if you were holding shares in theater companies right now, that is not really blowing my hair back. It's not getting us to profitability. King Buzz takes a real man to admit they were wrong. Again, man, I don't think I would change my vote. I think Q4 is going to be a disaster right now for the. We got 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks in Q4. Let's pull it up. Where are we going to land? Q4 total. Oh, this isn't it. Hold on. Oh my God, I didn't even see this. The Hunger Games movie. Actually, it didn't do too terrible. Q4 2023. I just want the total domestic box office number. What is it? Does it give me a number at the bottom? Help me out, chat. Why am I not seeing the total number here for Q4? I mean, looking at the top 5 right now, what is just a roundabout number? 300, 420, 500 million, 6, 7. Yeah, man. I don't know how that vote's going to end up turning out, but it certainly doesn't help that we keep getting shares dumped on us. But we knew that was coming, right? Dilution was sure to be coming. The whole purpose for the reverse split was, I think, to keep the float as low as possible and be able to raise cash. Barry Electronics says, I really thought that electing Obama was a step in the right direction. I think a lot of people did, man. I think a lot of people thought that that was a good move. And that's where this whole thing started, right? Yeah. Yeah, when you take God out of the classroom, out of the schools, what do you replace it with? A new form of idolatry. You got to replace it with something, and that has become the LGBTQ, communist, socialist, Marxist, these freaks. Kiwi Girl says, good afternoon. Kiwi Girl, how you doing tonight? Good to see you, my dear. As always. Floyd says the yes vote went exactly as expected. It killed the squeeze. I said it 1,000 times. Of course, I'm blocked on all the yes tubers. Now they don't want to accept responsibility. Yeah, man, it's a bummer. Hasn't been fun, that's for sure. Hasn't been fun. But ultimately, if we're ever going to squeeze, the numbers have to make sense. There's got to be, you need to be able to report good earnings and have profitable quarters and years, and all that needs to be on the up and up in order for the market to change its opinion about AMC. But again, I don't know how much difference that's going to make, because there's no regulation for any of these loopholes and gray areas that are continuing to be used. Whether you want to say it's, and I've seen a lot of people chatting about this back and forth about the tokens and, how they're able to hide their positions. And we know all the tactics that have been used, right? And I haven't seen anything that's been able to directly point one way or the other, even though there's a million different theories out there, but that's all they are at the end of the day, is theories. And they make sense. Look, a lot of them do make sense. Some don't, some do. But again, at the end of the day, you need to be able to show that the company is improving and doing better. I don't like the fact that it's been come off the back of retail to raise all this money, but we bought stock in a company that was $5 billion in debt. And, a lot of people have disappeared. And like you're saying, Floyd, some of the YesTubers have blocked you. I try not to do that on this channel. You guys know that. I think everyone's opinion matters. And look, anyone on any given day can sway my opinion one way or the other, right? And that's what the whole point of having a dialogue is. As long as, and Floyd's been on this channel a long time, man. He knows the drill. I'm not happy about how it turned out. I wish things had been different. I don't think I've realized when I went so heavy into AMC how corrupt the market was. I think that I was so drawn in by the potential for a MOAS and seeing what happened with GameStop in January of 2021, seeing what happened with AMC. I saw dollar signs and I saw an opportunity to make a ton of cash. And remember, back then, after that little mini squeeze that happened in January 2021, the stock came back down to $3 or $4. And at that point, to me, there was no lose. I didn't think the theaters were on their way out. I didn't think that the streaming services were going to kick the theaters to the curb and make them irrelevant. So it was a no-brainer buying stock at that price. Now, I continued to buy throughout the last 2.5 years at sometimes crazy prices, which now looking back wasn't the right decision, right? Wasn't the best decision because it sucked my portfolio dry. And I saw a couple of people on Twitter the other day saying, that a lot of us got into this with the right intentions. I think almost all of us did. We had the right intentions. I don't think we all realized how much of a disadvantage retail has at the end of the day. I just don't think we really realized how much control was in their hands and not ours. And again, seeing the pop in January of 2021, seeing the movement in June of 2021, those times to me proved that we were a force to be reckoned with. At least at the time, I believed that. I truly did. But I think in the long run, they have more funds available to them and more ways of beating us than we do against them. And I think that was some bad judgment, poor judgment on my part, not being able to understand how much corruption there is in the market. And that's something I got to live with. And I didn't do some of the things that other YouTubers did out there. I know I'm not running and ducking, but I'm also not going to go out there and put out false hope or say things that I don't believe in or say things that I can't prove. There's only so much I can do. And I'm trying not to take the other route and just come out and dunk on anything the theaters are doing. Like I was working on a video the other day about AMC and their decision to not, and this is something I still might put the video out. I've kind of been debating it, but there was a documentary. Let me see if I can find it real quick. That AMC was basically bullied into not releasing. Oh man, what was it called? I still might put this video out because I feel like this is where I draw the line with some shit. When it comes to children, that's kind of my no-go. Like when it comes to protection of kids, that reigns over my portfolio on 10 days out of 10. That's going to be the case. All right, so here's the article from Newsweek. This was from over the summer, and it kind of slipped under my radar. I don't know how, but then I saw some people on PBD's podcast the other day talking about it. I put a clip up on my Twitter. And, I just said in the Twitter clip, what would happen if AMC was distributing this movie? Would they have backed down because a couple people on Instagram or, one of these smaller, no, not small. I lost sound? Oh, fuck. Hold on. Fuck. Hang on. Back? Okay. How did they do that? So I put that up and I lost audio? Interesting. Interesting. Okay. It is what it is. But yeah, man, that's kind of where I draw the line as far as money over, kids is just an off limits thing to me. I don't have any kids. I'd like to someday, but yeah. And again, where does it end? If the next documentary that wants to get released is something that some obscure community doesn't want out in AMC theaters and AMC is distributing it, will they now pull that down? Because that's going to be money out of everyone's pocket. And again, I've been debating on whether or not to do a video on this because I know a lot of you guys out there are holding AMC with me right now, and it's not a good look. But then, I have that angel and the devil, right? Telling me, no, but Mass, you should talk about it because it's important, because where does it end? All right, let me get back to the. I saw Clark in here earlier. Clark, are you in the chat right now? What's going on, my friend? How are you? And how? Even more importantly, how is Julie? That's what I really need to know. Lucy, how you doing tonight? Lizzie, what's going on, girl? By the way, Lucy was the one who dropped that X tweet for me. Thank you, Lucy. Kevin says we shouldn't have a bubble wrapped to the younger generation and taught them basic life. Life is harsh. Grow up and get a job, move out. We taught them live for free at home, and life teaches them the same. Lizzie says I'm not getting. Yeah, good point, Kevin. Lizzie says I'm not getting notifications either. Yeah, I know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. I really don't. I really don't. The channel has been stagnant for months. Ever since I really started getting deep into politics on this channel, if I should just pull it up and show you guys right now. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I'm going to show you my last, 8 videos. None of them, I think 2 have been monetized. Actually, you know what I'll do? Tomorrow night, I'm going to come on and go live again because I have a couple announcements to make about the documentary and some other things about the channel, change the name of the channel and all that. I'm going to show you guys. Tomorrow is the day that Google does the monthly, you get one-time monthly payment from Google for YouTube. I'm going to show you guys what my payment is tomorrow. And we've done, I think last month we did 9 or 10 live streams and I had 7 or 8 uploads. Lizzie says, I liked the video you did earlier. Thank you, Lizzie. Appreciate you. Floyd says, yes, Mass, that is what we need to do. Kevin says, would be awesome if Mass has his documentary hit AMC. Man, that would be awesome. I mean, the sad part is, like the video from yesterday, there's no violence in it, but AMC. But YouTube hit me with the limited ads and no comments, can't reshare it. Like, now that happened, I'm debating on some of the things that I can keep in this documentary so far on stuff that I've already cut, right? I've already have segments of the documentary done, polished, nice. And I've kind of been waiting for things to develop to keep inserting in certain spots. Now I'm like, man, so what happens? Well, I spent a couple $1,000 doing this documentary and then YouTube hits it with a limited ads thing. 200 people see it. Like that, it's not going to be good. It was almost a month of traveling and the hotels and everything. I mean, cost an arm and a leg. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous. Couldn't even get a hotel room in New York City because there's 150,000 migrants staying in the hotels for free. Ellie, how you doing tonight? Clark is back. Good to see you, Clark. Says, Mass, you and Tony have been the only true voices that remain steadfast in AMC. We're grateful for you. I appreciate that, Clark. Thank you. And you guys have helped me a tremendous amount. Julie has been very generous to my channel. And, we all love her. But thank you. I appreciate that. And, that means a lot to me. Like, knowing what we know now, if I could go back, would I have pushed AMC as hard as I did? Probably not. I wouldn't have pushed any of it as hard as I did. Maybe I would have stayed away from talking about AMC at all and just talked about the overall stock market and some of the things maybe that, I knew more about, like my love of Palantir way back in 2020 or 2021. And, man, I can't catch a break with that either. But, yeah, it's been a tough road, man. It's not easy, especially holding through the reverse split. That was not an easy decision. Voting yes on it wasn't an easy decision. Like, I didn't take it lightly, but I just knew if there was, or at least I thought, if there was any chance that we're going to have a substantial squeeze and I could get paid on my shares for a lot more than I invested into it, then the company needs to be able to stay afloat. And I looked at what was coming down the pipe for movies the rest of this year, the actor strike that was going on, the writer strike that was going on. Everything in my head was telling me, maybe this is the right move. They need to be able to have the ability to raise capital and pay bills. And, as much as the dilution kills me, You know, I hope there is a grand plan at the end of the day, and that's all I can do right now. And again, I'm not going to come out and do the videos trying to bash the cinemas because even though I don't disagree with Disney's path and some of the things they've decided to do, I'm just going to do that my own way. Like I'm trying to get rid of the Massalorian name for the channel just because I don't want to be associated with the stuff Disney's doing right now. I don't think that it's profitable or just or inclusive or any of that. I think it is wrong. It is unjust and it's disgusting, really. Ellie, how you doing tonight? Ellie says, "Hey, Mass, hey, everyone. It's obvious moviegoers don't like the woke agenda. The movies are pushing on all of us. Money talks, so hopefully the movie makers change their tune. I really hope so. I really hope so. Like, Ellie, I really hope that Disney's taking a step back because remember, you know, I've seen a lot of people saying that Disney, you know, needed to create this spectacle with the female empowerment and all this stuff. Disney was a channel and a brand based off of princesses and you know, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, you name it, right? Little Mermaid. Like that was what they were before they bought Marvel or Star Wars. Why did they feel the need to now turn those IPs into what they've become right now? A shadow of themselves, two of the biggest IPs on the planet. Again, they had the formula down. All the cartoons and everything they had was all about princes and princesses and, you know, strong female characters, no matter if they were falling in love or whatever it was. They already had that in their brand. That was Disney, right? Why they decided to go down this route, whether it has to do with investments, DEI, ESG, yeah, that probably has something to do with it. And maybe I saw someone write this the other day. Maybe they feel like they can do whatever they want because they know eventually they will be able to weed out the negativity that is in social media right now. I mean, imagine if, because we know that the government had their mitts all over Twitter and still on Facebook and some of these other social media platforms. We know now since Elon bought Twitter how involved the government was. And who's to say that that's not happening on other levels as far as the business and the dollars behind this? King Buzz says shareholders are the product for AA. Yeah, it seems like that recently, man. It sure does. Clark says, Mass, what do you think about NWBO Northwest? Haven't heard of them. Actually, Clark, I was just talking to MC the other day about Lexio. I don't know if you've heard of that company. Let me see here. Northwest. Is NWBO the ticker? I'll have it for tomorrow, Clark. But yeah, I was talking to one of the viewers the other day about Lexio, that ticker. They just IPO'd, I think, 2 weeks ago. But they have some interesting drugs in the pipeline right now. I think most of them are in phase 1 or 2 still. So it's very early, but there's an Alzheimer's drug and I believe a cardiopulmonary drug. And I just saw some massive insider buying for that company. So, and the other company I talked about the other night was Sober. And that was because of Thomas Massey and the 2026 infrastructure bill, which took a huge drop the other day. I don't know what it's at right now. Let me see. Oh, it's up. Wow. Okay. So just last week, when we first talked about it, yeah, it came down to 5.20, 52 cents. It went up just over 56 cents the other day. But yeah, that amendment got kicked back. Let me see here. Any new news? No. 4 weeks ago, the California courts are approving the use of SoberSure Yeah, man. Again, on SOBR, this isn't financial advice, but in 2026, if that law doesn't get amended, we are going to have interlocking devices in every vehicle manufactured in the United States. And these guys are on top of the technology right now to be able to do that. It's already in the law. It's in the infrastructure bill. But I will look into that, Clark. NWBO. Yuka, how you doing tonight? Yuka says, Mass, how are they able to tokenize Ds? Yuka, good to see you, man. Floyd says, we will not squeeze. AHA has sold the original float, 3 floated worth of ape, and the equivalent of another already. Plus, you continue to dilute. Yeah, we still a lot of shares out there. Kryptonian says, you have to be happy about your PLTR. Yeah, that's the only thing I so far I'm happy on. And again, and Kryptonian, even on PLTR, I didn't buy that down when it was a lot of it at $700, right? $7 a share, just 6-8 months ago. I bought that back when it was around this price. I'm glad I held it because it made a massive comeback. Clark says, Julie and I have 700 shares of AMC, haven't sold any ever. Jerry, how you doing tonight? Jerry says, Kenny G has his own apes and they are sitting on AA. Clark says, I didn't realize the level of corruption either when Julie and I bought AMC. Too late now and too deep. Yeah, that's the same thing with me, man. Right, Clark? Like, at this point now, why would I sell at this point? We're at an all-time low. And the only way we could possibly get worse is if we have to go bankrupt, which I don't think is going to happen. Again, and I hate to bring up Adam Aaron, but he said we need better movies coming out to help the company. And he's right, man. I mean, this is going to be a tough quarter. And he made some good moves, signed those 2 concert deals. Whether or not they're going to push us over the top, I don't think so. Not for Q4. I wouldn't plan on it. And we haven't even felt the effects of the actors and writers strike yet. Like, truly, we haven't seen any effects from that really at all yet. King Buzz says, ape was the checkmate. Floyd says, very true, Mass. Kevin says, I knew nothing about stocks or crypto, so I started in crypto, then AMC came, so I took profits into AMC, now still, but trickled back into crypto, back up where I started. You have to watch that 24/7, 100%. 100%. But Donk says, the trans documentary, I must be behind here. Oh, man, I'm way behind. Yuka says, the Master Trans got you. Your audio has been shorted. So you guys missed that whole thing, but I was just saying 2 things. One, where do you draw the line? Is it just a small group like that is going to be able to tell a $1 billion company what they can and can't release at their theaters? Like, it's ridiculous to me. And the fact that they caved on this just shows if you put a little pressure on them, then they're willing to walk away from the table. That, to me, that's a problem. And again, I've had this angel and devil saying, no, don't do the video, Mass, because people are going to say you're attacking Adam Aaron, you're attacking AMC, and you have money in this. And then, I have the angel saying, yeah, but you should really talk about this because this is a problem. The fact that we're only getting one side of the story, especially for fucking kids who don't know any better, the fact that you are holding back information from them and the parents, no matter how dumb they are, should know the facts. And again, transforming the narrative, being able to control the narrative is how they are brainwashing these children and making them think that they need these surgeries and these drugs. And I see a major fucking problem with it. No matter how much money, I lose, it's not worth it to me if we're going to jeopardize children's safety and long-term health and the future of the human race. Well, what kind of monster would I be? Floyd said, I think it's when you pull up pages. Was it dipping in and out when I was doing some sharing? It's unfortunate. Harry Parrott, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Yuka, I think I said hey to Yuka already. Harry Parrott says, Massa, hey, have you been? Tinfoil hat. Could AMC GME squeezing have been a way created as a way for the market to separate retail from their money? Something I've questioned for a long time. Here's the thing, Harry Parrott. I think it brought a lot of investors who normally would not have been involved in the market to the table. I think it did do that. Would they have done that on purpose? I don't think so. I don't think Melvin went out there with the intentions of collapsing and having to be saved the way they did, right? I don't believe that. But I think they saw an opportunity, and this is tinfoil hat a little bit. I think they definitely saw an opportunity in taking advantage of emotions when it comes to the market and what was possible and what they knew eventually they would be able to get under control and possibly even flip the script and take advantage of. Now, I could be totally wrong on that, but seems to me that they had this figured out as soon as that whole fiasco went down after they took away the buy button in January, that they might have seen a big opportunity. And look, they did it. And I'm not saying with AMC or GME, but with the rest of the market, they overinflated everything, pumped up prices to all-time highs across the board, and then sucked all of that money out of the market after it crashed, right? We had that that bearish run for 9 to 12 months, the end of 2022 coming into 2023. And, it's slowly been coming back, but they sucked a lot of money out during that time. Clark says it sure didn't help us to lose 90% of our shares in a reverse split. Yeah. Yeah. That was a killer for all of us. For all of us who have been accumulating shares over that time, seeing them cut by 90%, and then you actually were able to take another $1 billion in market cap out afterwards, is just something I never expected. I didn't think that would be possible. Barry says, I'm with AMC. I'm down so much I can't see selling. Can't lose if I don't sell. Right. Is true. Yeah. Again, I don't see AMC going bankrupt. They might be in some trouble for a little while with this. I don't know how this writer strike and actor strike is really gonna play out. I don't know when we're really gonna see the effects of them both being off for 260 days combined. That's a long time to have no production going on at all. Clark says, Julie is doing great. We have invested in XRP and NWBO. We still have our original AMC shares. All right. Yeah, I got NWBO down here, Clark. Like I said, we're going to be going live tomorrow night. I have a bunch of announcements to make. I'll take a look at that after we get off tonight. That's good, man. I'm glad that Julie is well. Lizzie says, no comments. Why? So, Lizzie, if YouTube deems that the video is violent, then it is not for 18 and under. And if that's the case, they won't allow comments on it. So once that YouTube said that the video was violent, you lose the ability to share it or to comment on it or to put ads on it. So, Feed Jake, what's going on, Mass? He says, hey, Mass, could you do an NFT from the documentary and sell it? Man, if it's that good, maybe I will. Well, let's see how it comes out first, Feed Jake. Let's see how you guys like it first. I hope you guys enjoy it. I spent 3 months now working on it and a lot of time putting it together. So I hope so. Thank you, Clark. I appreciate you, man. Badong says possible hostile takeover at Disney with Mr. Peltz, Nelson Peltz. Is that new news? Like, is there something that just came out? Let's see. Anything new here? October. I don't see anything new here. Oh, wait a minute. Here's something from, well, this is still 2 weeks ago. Hostile takeover becomes a real threat at Disney. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm nervous about putting up sharing the screen now because I'm afraid I'm going to lose audio. Badonk says just tweeted the story about possible hostile takeover at Disney. All right, Badonk. I'm nervous to lose the audio, Badonk. I'm going to figure out what's going on with that, why I lost audio when I pulled that up. Harry Parrott says, did anyone else see Kenny G and Little George Bush? I did. Says, I almost threw my beer with the TV. Yeah, I did. I saw that the other night. Vineyards, how you doing tonight? Says, how's it going, Mass? I'm all right, man. Good to see you in the chat tonight. A lot of OGs tonight. Pocus says, average down on AMC or exercise 2A. There you go. How you doing, Pocus and Vineyards? Both see both you guys. Mike. Few lawsuits going on with AMC. By the way, I think Tony did a video about Meet Kevin taking down. Did he delete his whole channel? All of his videos? I saw now there's a new channel that popped up on my queue earlier. It said Meet Kevin Politics. So he's done with the market, eh? Wasn't he holding like 90% of his portfolio in Tesla? Didn't Mr. Wonderful tell him that was a bad idea, Kevin? But Doggy says, I'm still buying AMC. I'm not leaving. I don't think any of us are going anywhere anytime soon. And again, I don't think the theaters are going anywhere. I never did back in January 2021. Or for that matter, March of 2020. When the pandemic first hit, the pandemic first hit, and they try to take down all these businesses, short selling. But I don't think we've really seen the real effect of the recession that we're in. I mean, they just keep spending. This government is just out of control with the spending. And, inflation is not going anywhere. At least it doesn't feel like it is in my pocket right now. I know what the numbers are saying on TV, but I don't know if I believe those numbers so much. I don't believe I don't know if I believe 95% of what's coming out of the government's mouth right now. Vineyard says, currently I've been dumping a ton of money in Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm talking about that a little bit. A lot of you guys have recommended XRP to me. I get nervous with the XRP because that's a Lou thing. Whenever Lou's pumping something, I get extremely nervous. But does Master, did you get your AA dick pic NFT? No. Thank God. God damn. Can you imagine? Headstock Harem, what's going on, man? Says, howdy, Mass. I'm slowly averaging down on AMC. Now's the time to do it, man. I'm not giving financial advice, but if you want to take down your cost average, now would be the time. Kryptonian showing up the diamond hands. Yeah, diamond hand in my Palantir was one thing. Thank God I didn't sell at $7, man. It crossed my mind many times. I remember, when was it? I want to say like right after Thanksgiving last year. Right after Thanksgiving last year, I was in kind of a tough spot. And I was like, man, I could sell some Palantir right now, but damn, at $7 a share. And thank God I held, because it came all the way back to basically where I'm at. Right about, I think, where I put in. Kryptonian says no reason to sell now. The movie isn't over. That's the way I'm looking at this, man. That's the way I'm looking at this. And what's going to happen that's out of our control is out of our control. Again, even with the vote thing, like, would my yes vote or a no vote on the yes made a difference? No, no. Do I have enough sway or influence in this market to be able to make a decision like that and have it actually affect anything? No, no. We're just here talking, right? Lizzie says, no, Kevin didn't delete everything. He is all over the place. Lizzie says, you can tell when he dyes his hair clown colors. Now he's bald. He's going through a phase once again. Yeah, he goes through those phases, right, Lizzie? He is all over the place. And, I can be accused of that sometimes too, right? I mean, I did a George Floyd video yesterday, and here we are tonight talking about the market in AMC. But I think from the get-go, I think most of you guys know that I was talking about the political landscape, geopolitics, how they affect macroeconomics, how it affects the market. And now I just see that there is a fight going on to keep this country from turning socialist. And I think that's an important battle that we need to keep fighting. And, YouTube can demonetize me and do all that other shit. But I'm not going to just change my message. And again, I could come out here and talk about pop culture all the time and dunk on Disney and Marvel and Star Wars and all that. But at the end of the day, it's not going to get me anywhere, right? I think there are important issues out there. Again, why I've had this dilemma about releasing this video, what AMC did back in June this year, and we're pressured by some activists online to not have a movie showing because it hurts someone's feelings when all the people who were on PBD's podcast talking about this were transgender people who were upset that AMC had backed down from releasing this. All right, you guys got to give me 1 sec. I got to run to the bathroom for 1 second. I just saw Vineyards gave it a super chat, says $10. Thank you. Thank you, Vineyards. Love you, man. Appreciate you. Get that book going while you can, hodl. Thank you, man. Is Tony in the chat? I saw someone say, hey, Tony. Thank you, Vineyards. Appreciate you, man. It's been a rough month. Every little bit helps. I shouldn't even say this, but I just got denied. Like I said, tomorrow is Google payday, but I just got my blue check mark taken away because the money for Twitter didn't come out of my account. So I looked today at my Twitter feed. I'm like, oh, I lost my X. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I can go try to put it back in tomorrow. That's okay. I don't really even know if that matters so much, having having the blue check mark on Twitter. I really don't. But thank you, Vineyards, man. Appreciate you. Love you. Every little bit helps. MD says, when the RRP facility goes back to zero, does the government start selling bonds? Yeah, reverse repo is going to be a nightmare, I think. Uwork says, where the hell are those FTDs? What's going on? Have they still not shown the October FTDs yet, or the second half of October FTDs? Planet VW, what's up? What's the word? Yo, Mass, what's up? How am I having? Why are there so many? I want to say OGs, but yeah, you guys are OGs. Like, I see so many people that I haven't seen on the live stream forever. Is it because of their early start time? Doggy says, I just paid for my Twitter just to put my money where my mouth is for free speech. Freedom is free. That's how I look at it, Badonk. I'm like, you know what? If $8 a month is going to go to having a platform where the government's not going to have its hands on it, then that's a worthy cause, right? There is a method to the madness here. Like I said, it'll be back up tomorrow. Planet VW says they will never show October FTDs. I know, Kevin. All right, give me 1 second, guys. I just saw Vineyards put the chat in, so I had to say thank you. But let me just run to the restroom real quick. 2 seconds. I'll be right back. All right. I did. My hands. I'm good. I took the time. Kryptonian says the great thing about you and your show, Mass, you throw down the middle and let people have their opinions and open a dialogue. Yeah, man, that's so important, right? It needs to be that way, or else we're just gonna be like, if you just cut off. And this is what I feel like the left is trying to do, right? If you don't agree with them, then they just shut you down. They just shut you off. They don't want to hear from you, no matter what, right? And I think it's important that that has never worked. Look back through history. The people who shut down open communication ultimately want some form of dictatorship. Like, they're looking to end any type of discussion about anything. It's important that we have that, no matter what, right? No matter what. So important. Again, I don't know how much the blue check mark helps with, putting out the information or any of that or getting it out to you guys, but I do know it helps towards keeping one platform that I feel like there's a fair shot that you can go on there, speak your mind, and you're hopefully not going to be harassed or blackballed or any of that, right? So in my opinion, then that's how I justify it, at least. Yuka, I wash my hands, man. Planet VW says, and they will never show October FTDs. Yeah, I'd really like to know what's going on with that. That would be an interesting. It's probably the next thing I should make a video on. Even though I still haven't seen any evidence that any of that makes a difference for us. Like, I haven't, right? I haven't seen that complaining about it. I mean, I see people on there all the time still bringing it up to Adam Aaron. He doesn't seem to care too much about it. Whether or not he thinks that has an effect on the market price or any of that, I don't know, right? I'm not in his head. I'm just trying to trust that as the CEO of the company, he wants to try to keep it afloat and go out on a good note. And as long as he's continuing to do that, I'll hold my shares. The other forces that are at work against us, I can't control. None of us can. Kryptonian says, I think your viewership would benefit great. Yeah, I've thought about that. Kryptonian, tomorrow night there's going to be so I'm going to do a special live tomorrow night talking about the channel name change, a bunch of things tomorrow night. We're going to have a nice long live stream where I'm going to go over some stuff just about, the nature of the channel, some new guests I'm going to be bringing on. Talk about the documentary a little bit, and I want to talk about the next 11 months. When I do get back to the East Coast, I'm going to get very involved with the election, especially with New Hampshire being the first primary. I want to get on the ground there and do some good things, and keep my eye on things. I want to see, because, man, looking back at 2020 and the 81 million votes for Joe Biden, I think about when the pandemic was going on and the bombardment, because back then I was watching a lot of YouTube and a lot of online news shows, and literally, I mean, I'm not kidding when I say almost 50% of the commercials were aimed in New Hampshire at that time on getting a mail-in ballot to your house. I mean, it was a bombardment, constant, to go on and get online balloting, and just a click away from them sending a ballot to your house. And I want to make sure in 2024 that I'm on the ground there and keep my eye on things. I want to help. I want to help Lily Tang Williams, who is a young woman who is running for Congress in New Hampshire, who escaped communist China from Mao. I want to try to help her out with her election because I think she's a good person. I've met her a couple times, and I'm a big fan, and I think she's going to do right for New England, New Hampshire, and the country if she goes to D.C. So I want to help her with her campaign when I get back. So there's a lot of things we're going to talk about tomorrow night. I'm going to be on tomorrow. Now that I see so many OGs are on tonight, I'm going to try to start a little earlier like we did tonight, East Coast time, like around 8 o'clock. Harry Parrott says, here's some new homework. You always got it, Harry Parrott. Relationship between Soros, Wallenberg. Oh, then you would like Harry Parrott, you would like my new thumbnail for the documentary. Speaking of those names, I've been looking into this a lot. The last couple of days, I've been looking into APAC and a lot of the banking stuff from the Rothschilds, going all the way back to Napoleon, which, by the way, Napoleon's coming out, I believe, Thursday. I've heard some good reviews about it, which is great. I can't wait to go see it. Yeah, Harry Parrott. I've been looking into that. That and something else came across my screen. This is going to sound crazy, but the Malaysia flight. I don't know if you guys have seen any of the footage for the Malaysia flight and it disappearing into a wormhole. I've kind of went down a rabbit hole with that the last couple of days. I don't know what my final opinion is going to be, but yeah, we'll see. A lot of big announcements coming up tomorrow, though. Going to do a long live stream tomorrow night. We'll probably start early, like around 8 o'clock on the East Coast, like we did tonight. I just noticed a lot of people that I normally wouldn't see in here, which is awesome. I'm glad I know so many of you guys are still hanging in there with me and still watching the show, man. That's just great. It really keeps me going at doing this, no matter what YouTube does. To know that you guys are out there listening and coming to the live streams and talking, it's just worth it to keep going. No matter. Kevin says, mass for Canadian PM if you're in Canada. Yeah, man, I don't think they'll let me run here. They won't let me run here. I'm literally like a stone's throw away from the U.S. border right now. Like in 15-minute walk, I would be at the border. Literally. I mean, I can see the border from here. But I'm just out of the reach of the FBI. Just a little bit. Kryptonian says, APEC, where do they send the homeless? No one reporting. By the way, do you guys see San Francisco, man? Is that not amazing how they were able to clean the city up in a matter of days before Xi Jinping shows up? Shows you who the real boss is, right? Unbelievable. All right, before I let you guys go, I need 2 numbers in the chat between 0 and 36. I'll tell you what they're for tomorrow. But the first 2 numbers that come up are the 2 I'm going to go with. And then we're going to cut this live stream. Harry Parrott says, go back further than Rothschild will blow your mind. Further back than the Napoleon and Rothschild? Shit. All right. Oh, man, this is tough. All right, shit. Hold on. Don't let me lose this. All right, Planet VW was first, 22. 34 was Headstock. I'm going to take the first 4. Actually, I'll take the first 5. 13, 18, 24. There we go. I got it. 22, 34. Hold on. $22, 34, 13, 18, 24. All right. I got a free ticket for $10 for any bet at the casino. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your 5 numbers. I'll put $2 on each of them since I'm broke for Wednesday. But tomorrow night, I want to keep it serious. I got I got a lot of announcements to make tomorrow. We'll talk about the documentary. We'll talk about the FCC ruling. We'll talk a little bit about Argentina. And I'm going to get into some details about what's next for the channel the next 11 months. All right, guys. I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for stopping by and sharing all of your input, your information, the love, the support. It's just, it's really, it means a lot, man. It means everything to keep coming out and doing this thing because, the rest of the time, it's not the most bright place. Being in these rabbit holes and doing this, looking up this information and seeing what's going on, it can bring you to some dark places. And then you put on top of it the financial burden that we've all taken on with AMC. It's not easy coming out every day. So, man, it means the world that you guys keep coming here and supporting me. Thank you so much to everyone. I truly love you guys. And, let's hope for a good day tomorrow in the market. Not get too overexcited. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And, I just love you guys. And thank you for coming by, stopping in. Thank you to the mods who came by. I know Lucy was here earlier. I didn't see too many mods. Vineyards, thank you for the super chat tonight, man. It's going to go towards keeping me on Twitter. All right. Love you guys. Have a good night. Thank you so much. Kevin, Badonk, Mike, Harry Parrott. Ellie, good night, honey.